Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today, I am joined by one of my beautiful clients, and she's going to be sharing her amazing success story. We've been working together for the past roughly 4 months now, and I still remember the first day when she joined the program, and we had that initial conversation. I remember how she felt back then. I remember what happened back then because she comes from a bodybuilding background. And if you know much about bodybuilding, things can get a little bit crazy sometimes. Like I had a crazy experience with my own bodybuilding journey. She did a little bit as well. I remember that you told me you were not feeling that you had a good balance. You started to develop a very unhealthy relationship with gym because you feel like it was getting too much. You started to develop an unhealthy relationship with food. Exactly what happened to me as well. And you were not having a good balance, like with life, with training. It was starting to affect your relationship with your family as well, which it took a huge impact in your life, personal life. And when things start to impact you and, in your outside the gym, with your relationships, with your gym, with family, with friends, at work, it can get messy, it can get complicated. But 4 months later, you're here now sharing your journey, which is a huge step and a huge win. And thank you for that once again. And we're going to be talking about that, about what, the things that happened in the past and how she overcame those challenges and how she's here now, living her life, living her best life, enjoying going to the gym again, enjoying her nutrition, and just, doing the best that she can for herself to feel good about herself. Thank you so much, Bex, for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I think I told you thank you 20 times already, but the reason why I say thank you 20 times already is because before I know Bex was a little bit like, you didn't want to share too much about your journey, and you're here now. So I know that's a huge step. So well done for that. And can you tell us a little bit more about your background in fitness and how you got into bodybuilding?
Yeah, well, first off, my fitness journey started a little bit later in life, pretty much after I was 40. I started thinking a little bit about the ways that I could be challenging myself a little bit more and also getting fit at the same time. So I actually started out doing triathlon, and I started out doing small triathlons with IronMaori, just to challenge myself, just to get myself out of my comfort zone. And so I started doing that. And then I thought I could probably do even a little bit more. And I actually challenged myself and I did a full Ironman. Now, I don't know if anyone knows what an Ironman is, but it's probably one of the hardest things I've done. It includes a 4K swim, a 180K bike, and a 42.2K marathon. So
Crazy.
yeah, I don't do things by halves. So after I did that, I thought I probably won't do another one of those. But I did want to challenge myself and perhaps like do a team event. So I did decide to go to Germany in Roth and do that very famous race over in Roth. But of course, it didn't happen because of COVID. And I was a bit stuck, really. We were in lockdown and I couldn't get out on my bike and I couldn't swim because everything was shut. So I sort of had, a bit of gym training gear in the garage, and I started training a wee bit at home. And then I sort of thought I was looking for another challenge, and I thought, maybe I could try a bodybuilding show.
Wow.
This is something, of course, I would never, ever in my life imagine myself doing, especially getting up on stage in front of hundreds of people,
Yeah.
very, very small bikini. But to be fair, I was probably at the time was in pretty good shape, and that was pretty much from all the other fitness that I had done. So I decided to give it a go. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember you told me that you're very goal driven, and obviously all the things that you've done, that's crazy. Like running and swimming and bike, I feel like you need to have a very strong mindset to be able to do that because it pushes you not just out of your comfort zone, but it's everything. It's mental, it's physical, and that's exactly what bodybuilding is about. It's not just physical. I think physical yeah, it's one part of thing, but the mindset with bodybuilding is everything, because you have to be disciplined with your food, you have to be consistent with your training, you have to say no to so many things, you have to restrict yourself so many things, and it can get crazy. And especially
Yeah,
because I don't know about you, but I didn't know what to expect after my bodybuilding show. I knew what to expect before. I knew that I had to be on a diet, I knew I had to do my cardio, I knew I have to do this
yeah,
and that, but I didn't have much knowledge about what to expect after. And for me, it was crazy. Like the binging was like non-stop, and my face was like going big. My body was feeling so bloated. And that's the
yeah.
thing about bodybuilding that not many people talk about. Like,
Yeah,
how your
definitely.
experience with that?
Definitely. And I think that's one of the hardest things. And it does take a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of money. And you can absolutely forget having a social life. And I also think it does become a little bit addictive, because you always want to do better than last time. And
Mhm.
it can be actually really, really hard on your self-esteem. I think at the time, um, I kind of felt like I just wasn't quite good enough. And it's hard because, the judges are judging your body against other people's body, and it can knock your confidence. My unhealthy relationship with food and the gym was pretty much because I was exhausted. Like you said, with the food, I think it, it's mentally challenging, because when you're not allowed certain foods, it's kind of all you can think about.
Mm.
Um, and everybody's talking about it. Everyone's trying to offer you food. And when you don't have it, you can hear everyone talking about it on the TV or the radio. And it just takes every ounce of your willpower not to eat the things that you shouldn't. And it's really, really hard, especially for me, because I absolutely love food. And you actually find yourself dreaming about it.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about what kind of food you're going to eat after the competition.
Yes. Yeah.
And I started making lists of things that I was going to
Mhm.
eat after the competition. And then I would go on Pinterest and I'd save all these recipes that I was going to make. And then I would go to the supermarket and I would find some things and I'd buy them and then I'd stash them. And I think, oh, I'm going to have that after the show because I really deserve it. And then after the show, I would eat as much as I possibly could because I felt like I was worried that I only had a really small window to do this. And this would of course, end up binge eating
Mm.
and then feeling really, really guilty,
Mm.
um, hating myself. And so what I do is I just sign up for another show to stop myself from doing that.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it sort of became a bit of a crazy cycle. Um, yeah, and I guess as for the gym, I just felt extremely, extremely exhausted. Um, and I started dreading going.
Mhm.
And sometimes I would cry in the car after the gym, or cry on the way, or cry to work because I just felt so tired. And I think, at the end, I was going to the gym 6, 7 days a week. At one point, I'd do 1.5 to 2 hours training session and 2 hours cardio
Mm.
a day. And I,
Wow.
I just felt like basically I was killing myself and I didn't have my why anymore. And I just thought, well, this last one's going to be my last one.
Yeah. And yeah, I think like my story is pretty much the same as yours. I remember exactly. I used to write the things I was gonna eat after the show, or like look up on Instagram. I used to even watch YouTube videos of like people eating, those like 10K challenge, like 10K calories or 20K calories. I'm like, yeah. And just like every single night, I will sit there on my phone, like watch those videos, and I'll be like, literally, my mouth will be like
Yeah,
persist, like because you're so hungry, like you're so hungry because you're so deprived, like you're not allowed to have this, you're not allowed to have that. You only eat your chicken and rice, or you only eat your fish with your green veggies, your peanut butter, your protein powder, nothing else. And you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for the show to be over to be able to have that ice cream and to have those things. And that's why we start developing that very unhealthy relationship. And that's why after the show we go crazy, we went crazy because our minds were so restrictive so long. And
yeah,
then also with you were training like for crazy hours, like 2 hours training and then cardio. That's a lot of training for every single day. No wonder why you started developing that relationship with the gym, because you were training so much. so
Yeah.
much, and not just 5 days a week, but it was literally Monday to Sunday. And that happens when we do anything to the extremes. When we go from 0 to 100, one, it doesn't last too long, and two, it doesn't end too well, because nothing to the extremes never ends too well. And what was your experience like with like bodybuilding, and like what led you to develop that and a healthy relationship with food and with the gym?
Yeah, just the unhealthiness is, I think I'm probably still healing. I'm trying to sort of, accept myself as who I am. But yeah, I think the unhealthiness was just doing everything to the extreme, like you said, just doing show after show, um, and just also just hating on myself. Like I had a six pack and muscles, but all you can see as a bodybuilder, I think, is your flaws, and you just want to keep getting better and better. And that can be good in a way, but it can also be dangerous as well, because like I said, you're getting on stage, you're getting judged, and you don't know who's going to turn up on the day. So yeah, you can be very, very hard on yourself, and that
Yeah.
can be quite unhealthy. Yep, definitely.
Yeah. And I think that shows you that having that six pack won't make you happy. Like you had that six pack, but you were not happy because you wanted more and more. And that's why I always say, like, you will be happy the day that you decide to be happy. Because if you're waiting to have that six pack, you will get it. And then you're going to be like, actually, this is not enough. I want this. I want that. And you're just going to look for every single imperfection or every single little tiny thing. And you're going to focus more on that tiny thing instead of focusing on the big picture, instead of being proud of yourself for achieving that, which it's crazy, but I think as humans, that's completely normal. That's just who we are. We're never happy with what we have. We always want more. We're never happy with the hair color that we have. We're never happy with the eye color that we have. Like if someone has curly hair, we go like, I wish I had curly hair. If someone had straight hair, I wish I had this. Yeah. It's like, we're just never happy. And I think, yeah, that can also be very unhealthy, because it can make you do things that pushes you out of your limits, but not in a healthy way, but in an unhealthy way. And I also know that you didn't have the best experience with your other coaches, because I remember you told me when I decided to stop doing bodybuilding and I told that to my coach, he was not very happy about it. And I think that can also be not very helpful, because, as a coach, sometimes you need to understand, like, if you don't want to do it, I cannot push you. I cannot force you to do something don't want to do. Like, that's your decision. But how did you feel at that time? Like when that coach got upset with you, sorry.
Just made me feel quite guilty, that I decided that I wasn't going to do it anymore, that I was almost being selfish. It just made me feel really bad, and you kind of do develop these friendships with your coaches, and when they treat you like that, it actually really, really hurts. And at the end of the day, I had to make the right decision for me and what was best for me. And I had to have an operation as well. So I couldn't continue doing it, and I couldn't continue pouring in huge amounts of money into doing more competitions. And I needed to get back to some normality. I needed to be a mum again. I needed to catch up with my family, who I hadn't really caught up with for about 3 years. And I just thought, my time is up now and I just need to move on. So I shouldn't be feeling bad or guilty about that decision.
Exactly, because it was affecting your health, like your relationship with your family, but also your health. It was affecting your hormones. And for us women, well, anyone, like, you don't want that. Like, once it starts affecting your health, like, that's your red flag telling you, like, you need to stop this. Because if you continue, what's going to happen next? Like, you don't want to play around with your health, especially because that's something, if you're able to control that right now, take that control and do something about it. Whether it's stopping with bodybuilding or whatever decision you have to make, but always do something that's going to serve you. Because at the end of the day, if anything happens, you're going to be the one that hospital bed. You're going to be the one in pain. You're going to be the one taking that medication if you have to. And I'm sure you don't want that for yourself. At least I don't want it. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you don't want that, because you're listening to this, you want to better yourself. You want to do better. So always, always do what's best for you. Not for the coach, not for that person, not for the other person. Only do what's best for you. And that's why I always say, like, being a little bit selfish, it's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being selfish. But how do you feel now? Like 4 months, into my program, 4 months, making that a slow transition, going back to the gym, slowly eating a little bit more different foods. Like, how do you feel now?
Honestly, I actually feel like a human being.
Uh,
um, is this what you're supposed to feel like? Great. Yeah, so I love it. I'm enjoying lots of different foods now, knowing that I'm allowed them. I'm starting to really enjoy going back to the gym. I know I don't actually have to live there. And I'm starting to heal, I guess, from the inside out. I kind of feel like I've definitely got a lot more better balance in my life. I can socialize and still be healthy. And I'm still working on being happy with my physical self. That's an ongoing process.
yeah,
But I've definitely come a long way, mentally and physically, and I'm just overall, I just feel like I've got that balance back. And it's funny because everyone at work or everyone says, "What are you doing now? What competition are you up to?"
yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not actually doing anything, and they
Mhm.
just can't believe it. I'm just finding balance in my life, and I'm enjoying life again. So
Yeah.
that's definitely how I feel at the moment. So
Mm.
thank you as well.
No, I think it's teamwork. I think it's the work that you do. And my guidance, yes, but it's also the work that you do. I always say, like, it's not just me doing the work, it's us working together. I give you the guidance, I give you the tools, and it's up to you to take those tools, use them for your benefit. And that's exactly what you're doing. And that's why you're feeling a human again, like you're feeling normal. And I think it's because with you, it was, 3 years of bodybuilding, 3 years of being deprived, 3 years of no socializing. And that was exactly the same with me. When I was competing, I had no social life at all because one, you don't have the time, but mainly you don't have the energy. Like you don't want to talk to people. You don't have the energy just to like do little things like cooking, cleaning, things like that. You're
Yeah.
so drained. You're so like, oh, all I want to do is just stay in bed and do nothing else.
Yeah.
3 years later,
Absolutely,
you're amazing.
100%. And I was continuously exhausted, like trying to work full time, be a good mum, get my workouts done. I was sleep deprived. I was, and like you said, at a huge, massive calorie deficit. My overall well-being was completely non-existent. I would eat nothing but fish and asparagus for breakfast, lunch, and
Mhm.
dinner, and I just
Mhm.
wanted to be sick.
Yeah, I was eating the same. Yeah, green veggies, asparagus, but I didn't like them too much. But yeah, it was fish. Breakfast fish,
Yeah.
snack fish, and fish, dinner fish with maybe a little bit peanut butter and green beans. And you feel like I was like, I smell like fish. Like my pee smells
Yeah.
like fish. I smell like fish. My sweater smells like fish. Yeah, it's not a nice feeling. But also you are a mom, not you are a mom. For me, it was a little bit easier because I don't have kids, so I have more time for myself. But for you, you are a mom, so you have that responsibility. So on top of that, you were working full time. On top of that, you were competing, prepping for a show. So I think, yeah, that just shows you those 3 years were like clearly crazy years for you. But I'm just so happy that you're here now. You have that a bit of balance with everything, with life, with your social life, enjoying ice cream, which I know is something that you love, enjoying little things here and there. And yes, it's obviously it's not you're not 100%, feeling 100% with everything just yet, and that's completely normal. We cannot change that in just 4 months or even 5 months. It's gonna take time, but I think the main thing is that you're doing something about it and you're doing that work. And I also remember that when we had that conversation 1 month, 4 months ago, sorry, you were like, I really want to make this change, but I also know that I need accountability. I know that I need that guidance. Like, do you feel that having that extra guidance or that accountability makes a difference in your journey?
Oh, 100%, absolutely. And I think you just need that in your journey, and you need that accountability. Um, and you need to be able to talk to somebody like yourself, and just know that you're on track, or you might need a tweak here and there. And it keeps you, you know, it keeps you honest.
Mhm.
And the thing is, I absolutely love your app. It's absolutely just, it's probably the best app I've ever seen, in terms of just so easy to follow. And everything is there where you need it. The program's there, the gym sessions are well thought out, and I absolutely love the fact that you can swap the exercises if you need to. You've got the videos on there. It's like you've sort of thought of everything, which is it's great. It's fantastic. So yeah, and the meal plans are tasty and they're easy, and that's what I love. Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't have to be complicated. Like we don't have to complicate things. As long as we follow something that it's easy for us, that we enjoy, that's the magic. That's the magic thing that is going to help you see those results. Because as soon as you make something complicated, like overcomplicated, that's when things it starts to get challenging and it just gets too much and it's harder for you to stick to that. And then you start like, oh, I'm not seeing progress, whatever. And then you put it on hold or, nothing happens. And we don't want that. We want to make this a lifestyle. We want to make that easy transition between bodybuilding and now just making this more lifestyle. And tell us more about like the challenges that maybe you're having or you had over the past 4 months that we were working together. What main challenges have you had and how did you overcome those challenges?
I probably think the main challenge might have been around feeling guilty for eating these amazing foods that I'm allowed to have all of a sudden. So I think I've come to the point now where I know I can have them and it's okay, and that I can just continue eating these foods as long as I find that balance, as long as that is in with the calories that I am going to have per day. I think the other thing is too is just thinking, oh, maybe I should do some more, but then going, actually no, I don't have to. I can enjoy my weekends now. I can just make some social plans, go out for coffees, and it's okay. And I just have to be okay with just doing everyday things that come naturally to most people. So it's been a hard journey when you've sort of been in this very, very strict routine for a very long time. But it's about finding that balance, and I've definitely found that. And I think every day gets better. And again, I have a really good relationship with the gym now. I'm actually really enjoying it. I feel good. Yeah. Whereas I just dreaded going before, but now it's like, oh, I'm finished.
Yeah.
Great. I can get on with my day. So yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's good.
And like you said, like we don't have to spend too many hours at the gym. That's also like that's a mindset I used to have, not just from bodybuilding, but in general. When I started with my fitness journey, I was like, the more you train, the more results you're gonna get, or the less that you eat, the more results you're gonna get. And again, we don't have to do anything to the extremes. You don't have to spend 20 hours at the gym. You don't have to spend even 3 hours at the gym. Just a little bit of zone, just get there, get your workout done, and then go. You don't have to live in the gym. That's not what's going to get you the results. What's going to get you the results is building that healthy relationship with training and food, being consistent with what you're doing. Yes, not every day is going to be perfect, and that's fine. But as long as we try our best every single day, that's what matters. And just staying patient. Also staying patient, understanding that it's going to take time for your body to change. It's going to take time for you to see those results. It's going to take time to undo the habits that you built over the past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20 years, however long you were in your journey before you started your journey. But it's all about just being patient and all about being consistent. But do you feel like all the, I guess, the things that you've learned from bodybuilding, being patient, being consistent, do you feel like you're able to take that now and apply that to different areas in your life?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that if you can do anything like bodybuilding or do an Ironman, then you can pretty much probably do anything.
100%. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, that's one reason why I love bodybuilding, because then it shows you those things. It teaches you discipline. I mean, teaches you consistency, teaches you patience, because you have to be patient and work so hard for 20 weeks or whatever long your prep is to be on that stage literally for 5 minutes, walk around in that bikini, which is also scary. You really have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Going up on that stage, just wearing literally a bikini, nothing else. Yes, it's spray tan on, makeup on, hair done, but there's so many people watching you. And I don't know about you, but for me, it was such a scary moment because I was like, ugh, all these people are watching me. I'm wearing this tiny bikini, and you have to, walk there with so much confidence, your poses here and there. Yeah, it takes a lot of effort mentally as well to go on that stage. It's Yeah.
Absolutely.
See.
Yeah. I remember my first show, and I had no posing training. so, so I kind of just winged it. so I was
Yeah,
just
no.
like, what am I doing? Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I obviously got more and more posing training as the years went on, and ended up being pretty good at it. But certainly doesn't come naturally, that's for sure. So particularly with figure bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard.
Yeah, you kind of have to bend yourself like a pretzel.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. And I think, sorry, you go. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's another reason why bodybuilding is so expensive because you have to think about posting. You have to pay your posting coach, your makeup, your bikini, your spray tan, your coach that you're paying to help you with your meal plan, your training program. What else is there? Your jewelry that you buy, your shoes, to be on the stage, your supplements that you pay, your gym membership that you pay, the food that you pay. Like it's literally so much. Like if you're thinking about competing, think take your time with that decision. Like, don't make a rash decision. Don't feel like, yeah, my friend is doing bodybuilding. I want to do it as well. Or I just want to challenge myself. Like, it's great that you want to challenge yourself, but it,
I was so broke.
yeah,
And I was, because I actually ended up selling all my Ironman stuff so I could pay for my bodybuilding competition. So I
really,
sold my bike, and I sold all my wetsuit and everything just so that I could compete. And of course, it's a bit like a wedding. You can't wear the same bikini twice.
yeah, true, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So yeah. So I was buying new bikinis, and $600-700 alone. And then you've got your fees as well that you've got to
yeah,
pay,
yeah,
your membership fees as well that you've got to pay for whatever federation you're going into. If you're going to several different federations, you're going to have to pay membership fees for all of those. And then, of course, when I represented New Zealand and Australia last year, of course, we had to pay to get over there, accommodation, posing, tanning, everything else. So
mm.
yeah, well, went out with a bang though. So there you go.
Yeah. Because I can see like in the background you have like quite a few medals. Like, how many medals do you have in total?
These aren't actually all my medals. They're just some of them, but
Mhm.
yeah, I've certainly, as you can see, I've certainly done a lot.
Yeah, if you're watching this, yeah, yeah, just go about, I don't know how many, 1, 2, 3, maybe like 15, 20 medals right there in the background, which is crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the 3 years, you did, how many shows did you did in those 3 years?
Oh my gosh. About 7. Yeah.
That's a lot. 7 shows in 3 years. That's a
Yeah.
lot. It,
Yeah.
yeah, wow. Because imagine, because you would have to be so depleted, in between shows to keep you nice and lean for the next show. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And that shows why, that you developed that unhealthy relationship with food and training because you were so probably depleted for so long just to
Yeah.
keep you nice in that shape. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. But like what specific changes have you noticed in yourself, mentally, physically, in your health in the past 4 months?
I think mentally, I just feel better. Like I said, I feel human. I don't know if any of your listeners know what that means, but when you're prepping, it's almost like you're in complete brain fog
Mhm.
all the time because you're just so exhausted, tired, and starving.
Mhm.
And I remember being so exhausted, especially doing last year doing back-to-back shows, and within a number of weeks, that when I was working, because I'm a teacher, my students were doing their assessments, and I was so exhausted that I said to them, guys, I'm just going to sit on the floor. You could just pass me your assessments
Mhm.
while I sit here on the floor. I'll just do them on the floor because
And
I just I was that exhausted. I just couldn't get up, and I was just like, I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah, that's
But yeah, that's what I mean. You're absolutely just the most exhausted you could possibly be, and I wasn't functioning properly. And so now I'm feeling good. I've got more energy. I can do a lot more things, and I'm just enjoying life again. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's the main thing. And that I think that was our main goal when we started working together. Just get you back to normal, get you back to being a human again, feeling like a human again, just enjoying your weekends, enjoying the time with your family, enjoying that ice cream or whatever you want to have, and not feeling guilty about the things that you're doing or the things that you're not doing. Because like you said before, like you feel like you want it or you needed to do more, sometimes we have that mindset like more it's better, but it's not always better. Less is better. It's just training, training smart, eating smart, and those little things. And what advice will you give to someone that is maybe watching this or listening to this and they're really thinking about competing, but they're not like 100% sure?
Yeah, and I think there's pros and cons, of course. And I think the pros are that you learn to be disciplined. That's one of the biggest things, and you learn a lot more about nutrition. But at the same time, I think if you start taking it really, really seriously, it can sometimes have those mental, not very good things on yourself. That self-esteem can kick in sometimes, because you just start comparing all the time, and you can build an unhealthy relationship with yourself. But yeah, I think you've just got to weigh out those pros and cons, and do what's best for you at the end of the day. Certainly probably wouldn't recommend doing back to back to back to back shows.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, too much. I've only done one back-to-back show, and it was only 2 weeks in between shows. And those 2 weeks, like even though it doesn't sound like too much, 2 weeks, but those 2 weeks were literally the worst weeks of my life because my energy levels were just non-existent. I was doing 4 hours of cardio a day, those 2 weeks in between shows, plus my 1 hour of training at the gym, my weights training. I was not eating too much. Maybe I was around in like 900 or 1,000 calories, maybe, I don't know, roughly something like that. Yeah, it's not a good time. It was not a good time at all. Even just getting up to go to the bathroom or taking a shower, that was painful. Like imagine that being painful because you're just so exhausted and you have no energy. So little things like that become so difficult and so challenging. And all you want to do is just like stay in bed and do nothing because you're just like
Yeah.
walking around.
And you're not much fun to be around.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You're quite moody. You're very snappy. Yeah, you can just snap at people because you're just feeling so irritated and tired.
Mhm.
So yeah, you're not a happy person, really. You look great,
Mhm.
but you feel like crap. So
Yeah.
I don't think, it's probably, I mean, yeah, sure, tick it off your bucket list if you want to do it, great. But yeah, you don't, you're going to pour a lot of money into it, that's for sure.
Mm. Yeah, I think about if it's worth it for you. Like if it's truly, truly worth it for you because you want to do it, do it. But if you're just doing it maybe to impress someone or just for whatever other reasons, you're gonna be spending a lot of money and time. Just think about it properly. Don't just rush into making that decision. Take your time. There's no one pressuring you. If there is, then maybe that's a sign that you shouldn't do it. But yeah, take your time. I think the main thing is take your time. And what advice will you give to someone that is in defense of joining my program?
Well, I would say 100% just do it. Absolutely. Like I said before, your program is so fantastic. It's I love the app. I love everything on it. Um, like I said, the gym sessions are really just
Mm.
well thought out. for the individual. The meal plans there, if you need them, you can just swap them around. And of course, there's ample support, not just from you, but from other members. There's encouragement. It feels like a community, and of course, you're there every step of the way. So 100% just do it.
Yeah, don't overthink. Just get it done, guys. Whether it's me or another coach, and that's also something I always say, like work with someone that you want to work with someone that you can relate to and can connect to, because you do build that relationship with your coach. You know, it's like building a friendship, but that friendship is going to help you guide you in the right direction to help you reach your goals, your fitness goals specifically. So invest that money, look for someone, choose someone that it's truly going to help you and that cares about you, not the money. Remember, there's many coaches out there that just want the money. We don't want that. We work with someone that truly wants to help you, see you succeed in whatever it is that you do, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's just, you know, lifestyle, getting back to normal, but just work with someone that has a passion and truly wants to help you and not wants your money, because yeah, that's not a fun experience. It's not something you want to get to. But thank you so much once again, Bex, for being here. I really do appreciate you taking the time, sharing more about your experience, you know, being open with this and sharing everyone. I know you guys, if you're watching this, listening to this, you're gonna be able to get so much value out of this. And if you're thinking about competing, I think you will know how to make your decision a little bit better now. But is there anything else you want to mention before we go?
I just want to thank you, Danny, because you know, it has been a really, really hard journey for me over the last few years, and you know, just having your guidance, having your support, and just making me see, you know, some of these other things that I hadn't seen before has really just helped me in life in general, and just getting that balance back. And I really appreciate and I thank you for that.
No, thank you. That makes me very happy. Honestly, like hearing those things, it does make me happy, because I know it's helping you, not just with your fitness, but also with your life. And I think that was, like I said before, that was the main thing. Main thing, just getting you back to normal, getting you back to being a human once again. And I think that's what we are achieving together, not just me, but together we're doing this. So thank you as well for doing your part and doing the work. And thank you so much, guys, for listening or watching this podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it on your social media and tag me at Daniela Del Carpio. Until next time, and as I always say, don't ever stop believing in yourself. Ciao, ciao.